On May 31st, the UNC Charlotte College of Arts and Architecture will present Deep Water, the Murder Ballads, at the Night Theater in Uptown Charlotte. Created by Professors E.E. Balcos and John Allemeier, the program features 3 contemporary dance pieces based on 19th century murder ballads, songs that tell of true crimes of passion. We had the opportunity recently to talk with E.E. and John about one of those pieces, Poor Ellen.
Well, you guys have been working together for quite some time now, creating dances and music sort of in partnership with each other and in a real true collaborative sense. You're doing something based on a murder story. How salacious. Tell me about that. Tell me the story and how you came upon it.
I think how we came upon it a little bit was some of John's research when looking at particular ballads that are out there in the North Carolina culture and the Appalachian culture. And there's a subgenre of ballads called Murder Ballads, and they're based on notorious murders. And there was a particular murder that happened in Winston-Salem in 1883, I believe. And so there's a song called Poor Ellen Smith, and we thought, well, you know, that's something that we could do some research on. It has local culture, and then yet it still reflects a little bit upon the popular culture and how they're very interested. If you're watching TV nowadays, it's all about forensics and who murdered who and how do we discover who the murderer was. And it's like, well, there's so much interest in these dark subjects, and it's like, so we thought, well, let's create something for the audience that can incorporate some of the local culture and then yet the interest of the popular culture too. So that's sort of how we started getting in on this.
Who's Ellen Smith? What's her story?
Ellen Smith, like E.E. said, the events that our piece Poor Ellen talk about are reference to are happened in 1883, Winston-Salem, and there's sort of what we know is that there's Ellen Smith, who's this woman in Winston-Salem. She is murdered by Peter de Graaf, and the interesting thing about this murder ballad is that it's told by actually the murderer. It's in the first person, and so it's him and how he feels about what happened. We can look back at the records of the population and know these people were there. And what we really know from the story is basically that there was Ellen Smith, and she was killed by Peter de Graaf. Peter de Graaf went on the lam for a year and a half, actually wandered back through North Carolina. They grab him, put him in jail. He spends the majority of his life in jail because of this murder. And so it's while he was in prison that he supposedly came up with these lyrics to this song. We don't know for sure whether that's true or not, whether it was actually Peter de Graaf that wrote them, but it is one of the rarest instances in murder ballad that it's in the first person. And it never really talks about what he did. He talks about the regret he has for this event having happened. He doesn't say it happens. He doesn't say what he did. He just says he regrets that Ellen Smith was killed.
So there's no confession, actually, in the ballad.
Not at all.
Your piece refers to there being an element of romance there. Were they in love, or is that something that you guys created, or did you find that in your research?
Well, as artists, we sort of get artistic license, and so we don't really know what their relationship was. It could have been, we know that there was no formal relationship, there was no real courting there, and so there's some speculation Peter de Graaf may have at some point raped her and killed her because she became pregnant because of that. He may have been engaged to another woman but then had an affair with her, and so we're not quite sure. And so at least in our piece, what we've come to is there's some conflict of their multiple women, actually sisters, who are vying for his attentions, and eventually poor Ellen and Peter de Graaf pair and court, not formally, but there's some sort of courting that goes on, and so it's it's a little bit hazy, so we get to fill in the blanks.
So taking that artistic license as a choreographer, we get to cast a certain amount of dancers, and we get to cast the particular characters. And I've been using my dance company and these professional dancers. So we set it up so that Ellen actually has two sisters in the dance. So you have a trio going on there. I play Peter, and you see the ongoing kind of courtship that might happen, and the possible what happened and why did she get killed and what happens after that. So it's a little bit of a dark story, but it's very intriguing and engaging yet to watch and to hear the beautiful, beautiful string quartet that John has written.